Matt Campbell delivered a good injury update today. So we're going to watch a little bit of him, just answering a couple questions about the injuries. Credit to Cycle and Fanatic for getting the footage from the press conference today.
How's Kyle coming along, and anyone else who might be banged up?
Yeah. So, we're actually in a really good spot. Kyle, I told you he won't play this week. My guess is still kind of week to week here as we go closer and started at least back on the field doing some things. So I feel really good about that. The one tough deal, we lost Tez. Tez is going to be out for the year. So that's a situation that, really stinks for the kid. But man, just how he's handled it has been uber impressive, and, a great human, and he'll be back ready to rock and roll, next year. And then everybody else is good to go. So we should be in a great spot.
At that corner spot, I know Coffey's been banged up, but Quentin Taylor, Benny, how does that early in the process, but how does that rotation look like? Because I know you feel good about the depth in that secondary room.
Boy, we do. I think that's just the reality of it, is like you're going to have injuries and the next guy's got to step up. Quentin Taylor's played, I think, almost 30 snaps a game the last 3 weeks and played really good football for us. Benny started to do a great job. We do get David Coffey back. So, David practiced today. So I think we feel really confident about what that group looks like. And, I know those guys aren't participating, but their leadership is critical, and they've already done an unbelievable job. Coop had surgery and was out on the practice field today, and Tez is out there. So we'll be just fine.
Matt, where is Cincinnati?
So that was Matt Campbell's comments about the injuries today at his media availability. There's a couple like interesting things out of that whole thing. One, obviously Kyle's not back yet. Chase Smith did hit a field goal, and it was like 32 yards or something like that. It was off center. It was on a hash. So that's, worth noting, I think. He can kick a little bit. Doesn't look like he's got a particularly big leg, but he's basically got Connor Sally's leg, in that he can be accurate within 30, 35 yards, and you're good. Probably not going to be nailing any 55, not going to be teeing up any 55 yarders with Chase Smith, but that's okay. That's fine. What I want to like take note of here, though, keep in mind here that Jontez Williams last season graded out as one of the best cornerbacks in college football. I think PFF had him graded out as like the third or fourth best cornerback in the entire country last season. All Big 12 performer. I think he was a preseason first team All Big 12. He's the best corner in the Big 12. He just is. He's the best cornerback in the Big 12, and he's one of the best cornerbacks in college football. He goes down for the season, essentially like 2 days after Jeremiah Cooper, one of the better safeties in the Big 12, turned one of the better corners in the Big 12, goes down with an ACL for the season. And then Jontez Williams goes down for the season. He's missing his two best corners right now. And if you watch that clip, Matt Campbell's like, his whole attitude is like, shit happens, but Iowa State is in a place right now as a program where they've got so much depth at so many positions that like losing an all Big 12 corner and not just depth at the position, but solid with how solid that defense is, and just familiarity across the defense and across different position groups, and just feeling confident in how well that defense plays as a group, that losing Jeremiah Cooper and Jontez Williams in the past week, both of them for the season, does not appear to worry Matt Campbell at all. He even literally says, like, other than that, we're in a great spot and I'm not too worried about it. I'm not saying you should be worried about it, because Trey Bell and Quentin Taylor have both played incredibly good football so far this season. Like, I think Trey Bell has come on a lot faster than people thought that he was going to. And Quentin Taylor's played a lot of snaps, and he's played a lot of good snaps. David Coffey comes back. We'll see if Benny's ready to go, which is a fun little experiment with Benny. I would say it's got the depth here from a talent perspective to survive two all Big 12 cornerbacks going down for the season. They're good enough to survive that, and that doesn't change Iowa State's trajectory. It really doesn't, because the pass defense is so good. It's so solid, and everybody does their job. The safeties are so good that like the corners don't have to be perfect for the pass defense to do its job. But Trey Bell and Quentin Taylor both are good corners. They've done a really nice job so far this season. I said it earlier. Trey Bell is one of the more impressive open field tacklers I've seen in the last, 5 years, maybe most of the Campbell era. He's a really, really good open field tackler. And I think it's remarkable that we can be in a place where the coaching staff there is not talking about like, oh man, it's a huge loss. We're going to have to, we're going to see who steps up. It's next man up, all this forever. It's nope. We've got two guys that have played a bunch. They've played good football. We'll be fine. He says other than our all Big 12, potentially all American corner in Johnson Williams, other than him being out for the season, we're in a great spot. And I'm not even like saying that, I'm not saying that in jest as in like Matt Campbell's crazy. We're screwed. I'm saying that is where Iowa State as a football program is right now. You can lose an all Big 12 corner and it doesn't really change your outlook. It doesn't really change how you play. It shouldn't change predictions. I mean, it will change the predictions for people that don't know the program very well, or Vegas may even adjust the line or something. But for people that have been watching Iowa State, seeing that Trey Bell and Quentin Taylor are going to come in and be your starters doesn't concern you that much. They've both been really good. It's just one of those things that if you put it this way, really, is that Arizona right now is where Iowa State was in like 2017. You got some guys that are kind of having to out scheme you in some spots, having to just try harder than you in a lot of spots to win games, but they're going to win some games. They might upset somebody. But it was pretty clear on Saturday that Iowa State was just a different level of football team. Like, they were clearly better at basically every position. The offensive line, which has played very well so far this season, I've been very happy with the offensive line. They dominated they dominated the line of scrimmage. The defensive line did a nice job. Like the physicality, the size and physicality, factor at a lot of positions. Arizona was just not equipped to deal with Iowa State's size and strength and their physicality. They just weren't. It wasn't close. It wasn't like they fought their hardest and stuff like that. I mean, it was Iowa State was regularly pushing Arizona around kind of wherever they wanted to for the most part. And it was just a really impressive thing. And that's, it truly now is, it legitimately now is next man up, in that the next guy up is going to be good. That's just what it is. And I think Duxer's right on here. Ryan Clanton, I think I even said it before the season, is that, this season is where we're going to find out if Ryan Clanton can coach or not. Like if we're going to find out what we thought about Ryan Clanton, which was, we thought he was one of the best, offensive line coaches that Iowa State could have gotten. And because he, did such a good job at UNI and all this. And, we said that like this was a season we're going to find out if what Ryan Clanton is doing is, having an effect, if it's doing if he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. And it's very clear to me that he's done a very good job coaching up that group. The offensive line has been awesome. But I mean, across the board, we're at a point now where there's like stuff like this isn't going to losing a corner or two isn't going to sink your team, because the depth across the board is just so good now. They've done such a good job developing depth and recruiting depth that, they can survive this and they can still win a Big 12 title with this group. Trey Bell and Quentin Taylor can be your starting corners in the Big 12 title game and they can win. That's just where Iowa State is now. So it's pretty remarkable to see where Iowa State is now, where it's just clearly a step above, a good chunk of the conference, where it's just a significantly better football team.